Welcome, England Takes Podcast. Uh, where I'm your host, Marquise, my co-host Jabron, as always. You know how you doing, cuz?
I'm good. Cool. Can't call it. You know how I go.
For sure. Well, we have quite a bit to talk about in regards to the NBA. All Star Weekend is over and done with. Regular season is back in action as of Wednesday. Games going on right now as we're recording. Some possible playoff contenders and playoff favorites playing tonight. Um, gonna get into that a little bit. Talk about some of these buyouts that happened with Ben Simmons, Alex Lynn, and he's oh man, the name is skipping me, but we'll get into it. Those three kind of bigger names that were picked up uh, for the one for the Cavs. I can't remember his name right now. Green. There we
Yep.
go.
Javante.
Javante Green. So um, get into that. Maybe get into some other stuff. See where the conversation takes us. But you know how it goes here. We gonna get some appalling stuff. Maybe some solid takes. Some takes you can be like, what the heck is these guys talking about? And some will be like, okay, I ain't know it was like that. But let's go ahead and get into it, cuz let's talk about the All Star break. How you felt about the event? I know going into it, we didn't have too many high hopes for it as far as what we were
Facts.
used to in years past. So I'm gonna give you the mic and let me hear what you got about it.
So I think a lot of the stuff was predictions we had. Probably we was chopping it up was just came close to fruition. You know what I'm saying? It happening. One happens that I called was gonna be the Warriors in the finals of the skills challenge. They end up playing the Cavs. Cavs end up getting a good little run and they end up making it through, which was dope. But we gotta talk about how Wemby led that charge on them trying to cheat the system. And instead of shooting, them niggas started passing the ball randomly. Like, bruh, I get it. They had the fastest time, but bro, come on now. Like the whole objective was to actually attempt the shot. Y'all just knocked the balls off the rack and just started running. Like, come on, bro. Like, if that is the case, y'all shouldn't have been in the dang skill challenge and let somebody else do it. So,
Mhm.
but like,
Yeah,
Cavs good win, and then you got look the 3-point shootout. What Hero won? I ended up saying Hero won. Buddy had a good first round. Think Dame did all right, but then he just fell off. But like I said,
yeah. Hero hit a
somebody
high
got
at the
high.
right time.
Hmm.
With those last two rounds of racks, and especially those money ball racks. I think that the round before the championship round, he shot a little slow, so he didn't like
Hmm.
I think a couple of the baskets didn't count at the end. That he even though he made them, but the time was over before he let go of the ball. So,
Yeah,
but then he kind of sped up a little bit in that next round, and he was definitely a dark horse. I didn't see him winning. I called Dame three-peating again,
we
three-peat.
both called Dame three-peating,
Um,
which
didn't
is
happen.
high.
It,
A lot of people did, but it's
yeah,
just the
yeah.
ones that got streaky and got hot at the right time won, which was Hero, which is straight. Like I think I did say he was a potential. He get hot, he'll win that. So that's who I think I backdoored and said was gonna win if he
I got a
Dame didn't
hole in
three-peat.
my shirt. What the hell?
Man,
Damn. I saw this where I'm up to no good in my little Harry Potter situation, but whatever. My
man, for
bad.
sure. Hey man, that's real. And then
uh,
what? Sorry, dunk contest. To be real with you, like I said, Mac three-peat. We both kind of picked that, but it's just I didn't really watch it. Like I said, I seen the highlights, some good dunks, but it was just like some of the stuff I have seen before, like from the professional dunk contest. But like, it is what it is. And
yeah,
then
he has some some dope stuff, and there's people out there saying that Castle was cheated or was cheated. I'm like, nah, McClung did come to play. He definitely had
he
better
made all his
flashier dunks, and he made
he
all his dunks.
flashier dunks, and he made all his dunks one attempt. So you got to get that credit. Castle had a couple solid dunks, like I said. It is what it is, man. It just ain't the same. At least the only thing we got out of that was it got Ja and them's attention to be like, huh, I might need to go in it, which cool, about time. Takes forever, but
Yeah, which we talked about. You need that star power
and
back in the dunk contest for sure.
facts. Then you got the games, like everybody's complaining you got more commercials than we really had game time, which
Which is crazy.
crazy work. And like, okay, cool. And then I'm all for it. I'm all for what it is. Like I said, what what they were saying, hey, we might need to push this back, scrape it another. Nah, man, get rid of the game. To be honest with you, bump it. Get rid of it. If you ain't gonna do something to the game, bro, bring in the 1v1, which I've been saying
Yeah.
like for years. And you gotta look, the women's unrivaled pro league did a whole 1v1 tournament. Winner took away $200,000. It was actually fee from the Minnesota leagues. They got the perfect format for it to do it. They
Hmm.
had it took them, it was like 20 contestants, but look at it. They did shot clock was 8 seconds. So they wouldn't have to worry about no three dribble, four dribble count, nothing. You got 8 seconds to go get a bucket.
Hmm.
I think that's plenty of time to try to go get a bucket.
Yep.
If you like, and Kyrie already said it, we need to do it, and he's all for it. He said, "What is it? When there's fire, there's smoke, and I'm the fire." Yeah, Kyrie's leading favorite for that, so I think they might as well do that. Bump some of these other events, and if it comes down to it, bump the game, then like make them do 1v1s, like something. Like at this point, the game is just terrible.
Yeah, definitely. The game is terrible. We talked about it. It's not even a glorified pickup game because I feel like in the summer they're definitely playing harder than they are in the All Star game these last what
Bro,
5,
what
6, 7, 8 years.
them UCLA runs be busting,
They'll be
and they be
busting.
playing harder than that for no
Now
money.
I do got to play devil's advocate a little bit here. The All Star game, as far as compared to this most recent years past, under this LeBron era, post Kobe, but in LeBron era, um, it was definitely a lot more competitive. We did talk about it. We said the young boys was going to come out and try to prove something. It was nice to see the OGs come in and to handle business and show them like, hey, we're OGs for a reason. I do
Hmm.
think it was a little effed up for LeBron to last minute basically say he's gonna sit out and say
Facts, bro.
there wasn't room for another All Star to come in. I think that I mean that
Bro, that could have been LaMelo.
it could have been, and let's be real, like eh, I respect LeBron James as in that conversation. There's a reason he's in that conversation, but I just don't like the everything centered around me style of doing things so soft. Made the era soft. Like let's be real. Like the LeBron era is soft compared to how it was in the past, and even they're lazy. They come across as lazy. Now they do work hard. You got to give these guys credit in order to be 0.000001% or whatever it is of the population to be in the NBA. You do got to work hard. You do got to have talent. But when it comes to how they cherish the game, I feel like a lot of these guys don't care about the game. They really care about the salary,
Yeah,
and it shows. PK PK Saban, NFL in NFL NHL hockey player, retired hockey player, now ESPN analyst, kind of spoke on it and the difference in pride for the game that the NHL players have versus the NBA, and it clearly shows. Like it's clearly shown to the fans. There's a reason that the game has definitely diminished as far as fandom goes. Um,
hmm,
and not just the All Star game. Like overall, the scope of the NBA is definitely diminished compared to what it was under Kobe, under MJ, under Magic and Bird. And there was obviously a
for
time
sure.
where the NBA was not as great pre Bird and Magic. But with those names I named, like the game was competitive. Yeah, they would go out to eat. Of course, I mean even all the way back
They
to
love the game though.
they
It's the
love the game.
competition.
It was a
They
competition. But going all the way back to Wilt and Bill Russell, even though they were rivals on the court, they would go
too
to dinner
friendly.
the night
They too
before.
friendly on the court, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, we could be friends off the court, bro. Like, it's we still
I'm
gonna
here
be
to bust
friends,
your
but
ass. I'm here to bust your ass.
exactly at the end of the day, on this court, ain't no friends, bro. It's me versus you.
Hmm.
Like, I don't care if we known each other since kids, bro. Like, and get on that court, it's me versus you. I'm trying to bust your ass. You trying to like, come on, bro. Like,
Yeah,
it's 1-on-1. At the end of the day, we competitive. After that, guess what? We can go get a drink. We can go do
yeah.
whatever. After it's all over and said and done, cool. We can go say hi to the family,
Yep.
take pictures, all that. But
And that
when
pride
that
kind of went
start,
away too. And it showed, like I said, the All Star game, those guys were competing, even though they were, we'll say, high scoring games compared to a regular season. And I don't
hmm,
think, I think it was talked about on ESPN. Um, the fans are not asking for these guys to treat it like a game 7 or treat it like even a regular season game where there's a
Facts.
win loss there. We want it to be competitive as those, as I mentioned earlier, those UCLA runs. We want it to be kind of competitive like that, where you're not out to hurt each other. You know, you're still trying to have
Yeah.
fun, be entertaining, but still take pride in the fact that like I remember KG going after whoever the power forward was in the East. I remember Kobe going after Iverson, like because they were the guys in the early 2000s, and they would guard each other and come after each other, and but they
Just
loved each
hoop.
other. If you hear Iverson talk about Kobe, there's only one player he loves more than Kobe Bryant, and that is Michael Jordan, because he was a huge
Hmm.
fan of him growing up. But listen to the admiration that Iverson had pre before he passed away and post mortem. You can tell the respect that they had for each other, but as the competitors, he was like, I'm out to go get that guy. I'm here to go
It's
get him.
just hoop, bro.
It's
At the
just
end of the day, just
and that's
hoop,
what
bro.
the fans want to see. They want to see yes, we'd love to see the crazy alley oops and the crazy kind of passes and just the the that way
They'll
out playing.
happen throughout the
They're gonna
game.
happen
It's
in the
it's
game.
it's
It's
happened
natural.
even in the
It's
days when
happened
it's
in the past
competitive. It's
for sure.
happened in the past. It's
But when
what
you're
do
very
it's
clearly
just being
playing
competitive,
Matador,
man.
yeah, when you're playing Matador defense, very clear, just letting people get to the rim. Um, that is just it's not
Some
entertaining.
effort. That's all it's asking for is
If I
some
don't want that,
effort.
I'm gonna give my son a ball and get him on a hoop and make sure he dunks all the goddamn time like that. I much rather watch that all day than the peak of
Hmm.
athletic supremacy as far as NBA basketball goes.
But that's why I think the recommendation of maybe doing away with it might happen, might be good, because then it may force them to say, hey, you know what? They took it away. Hey, look, now we got to step it up and actually hoop.
And I think this diminishes a legacy like LeBron's. I mean, in my opinion, he's already not a transcendent player. There's nothing about his game that has transcended the NBA. Steph has transcended the NBA more than LeBron has in LeBron's era, and LeBron's the guy. Um,
Hmm.
and I mean, the only things that you could talk about that LeBron has brought to the sport of basketball is negative. When you talk about the flopping, when you talk about the super teams, and yes, he wasn't the first super team, but what people give him credit for is talking to his friends in the offseason and deciding together where to go. That's
Right.
embracing the super teams, because people try to say, well, the the Celtics had a super team together, but those guys didn't talk to each other. Minnesota had to trade Kevin Garnett from Minnesota to Boston, and the only reason he left Minnesota is because he was upset with Glenn, who I'm so happy as a Minnesotan and starting to come back to be a Twins fan or Timberwolves fan. I'm so happy he's no longer the majority owner of the Timberwolves, and their team is finally going in a direction that is competitive. I was tired of that guy for what he did to Flip Saunders, and then obviously basically
Hmm.
making it to where KG wanted out. KG should have his jersey retired in the rafters, and he should have a effing statue in
Facts.
front of the Target Center. He brought
I
more.
agree. I
It,
agree. I
it,
agree with the
it,
jersey retirement. The statue, I don't know, man.
no, he
Ticket,
brought.
a ticket is ticket, but I agree with
Ticket is
his
ticket.
jersey needs to be
They
retired.
the Timberwolves have only been to two conference finals in their entire time of being in existence, and under that was with KG. So yes, I understand they didn't win no titles, but KG was the Timberwolves. That's the only reason I say he deserves a statue. He was the Timberwolves.
Hey, look,
Throw
look,
it
I'm right there with you.
away.
Look, we agree with you. His jersey need to be up there. Ticket jersey needs to be up there. But like statue, I don't know yet. I don't know about it yet.
Do you want a statue in Boston?
Shit,
No,
Boston, he ain't gonna
that's
get.
me.
But I'm
That's
saying this, but he ain't gonna get one in Boston.
I
They
don't think
would
so
give.
either.
He had Bird would have to get one before him.
Oh yeah, for sure, I agree with that. And that's crazy that Bird doesn't have a statue in front of um what is that, the Garden out there. That's crazy to me.
Mm,
And he brought several championships. But anyway, to continue to what we're talking about, like it's very like I said, it's very diminishing on Bron's legacy. The fact that the NBA is in the state it's in, and he's the front runner for that. It's
hmm.
not all his responsibility, but when you're the guy, you're the lead dog. Some of the things that you do, the other guys see that and they kind of follow it, and they may have taken it further than he did. And again, the whole story is about is GM LeBron and all this stuff. But then we find out that he had no idea, really had no idea that AD was being traded. He thought he was gonna
And
have
Rich
AD.
Rich Paul came out and said he
Rich
didn't
Paul,
know.
yeah,
He
yeah,
said, "I know about every trade except
yeah,
this one."
he didn't know. So and I think there's some validity to the whole GM LeBron thing, but in this case, it's not completely there. But like I said, there's a lot more negative legacy things to Bron as far as transcending the
Hmm.
NBA than there are positive transcending things about Bron. And Bron is a great guy off the court, having a school. All his friends that he came up with are making legit money, and he did stuff with them and made them their own men. Basically, he's just not the money bags and handing out money. Like, he was like, hey, we're gonna get in business together. This is what you're gonna do, Maverick Carter. We're gonna do. He they all had a plan together, and he's the guy who brought that forward. So that has never happened before. So I have to, like I said, be a little bit of a advocate. I can't say all the negative about Bron.
Okay.
I
I'm
gotta talk about
still,
something good.
I'm still one of them. But I'm came to the realization though,
Hmm.
MJ's one, Bron's two. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah,
It
yeah,
I
no,
I love Kobe, but like it's not that. It's solidified, bro.
no.
Bron and MJ's one, Bron's two. Anybody younger than probably the age of 30, 33, 30, anything, even under 30, you're gonna say LeBron because you really don't know of MJ. You
Yeah.
watch Kobe, you don't know of MJ, but like at the end of the day, he's two. Like you can't disagree with that. It's
I,
just
now I kind of at the
that's a
end of it.
topic for
He's
another
definitely,
day.
yeah, he's a definitely too, but MJ's obviously just my one. Um, I kind of even, you know, to be real, I don't even think I have Brian in the two spot. I think he's the three. I don't have Kobe in the two for sure. It could be Tim Duncan. It could be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at the two. So as far as winning
It's
goes,
Hey,
numbers,
that's your. I
everything,
agree with you. That's your opinion, but
eh,
You got to look at that. That
yeah,
I is. I'm not a bronze, but
yeah,
I'm not a hater. But
so let me,
I've done some. It's
yeah,
realistic, bro.
yeah.
That man's two. He's
And the
two, bro.
reason, and
It's
to
some
get
things
into it,
that.
right? Because people are like that's gonna be like that's a terrible take. The reason I even say that Brian was probably not is probably a three or even a four is the fact that a data analyst a couple years ago, like I think literally 2002, I think, or 2002, 2002, sorry, 2022, 2023, made an AI bot, put
Hmm.
all the information that has to do with NBA
Yep.
stats, winning, accolades, all of that. Put it all into AI, and
Hmm.
the AI put LeBron at six.
Tough.
He put him at six. Put Tim Duncan at two. MJ, it was MJ. Actually, I think I have the
Hmm.
article, and I'll quickly go over it. But while I'm pulling it
That's
up,
tough.
but they pulled out the top 11 players, and Bron was six, bro. So
Hmm.
I'm like, when a computer is not biased in the sense of, yeah, here I got it right here. Um, the AI, and this was, I don't remember the years, but we'll go from 1 down to 11 real quick. Michael, Tim Duncan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I'm sorry, I said LeBron at six. He was actually at four. Kobe Bryant at five. Bill Russell at six. The Dream at seven. Wilt Chamberlain at eight. Magic Johnson at nine. Larry Bird at 10. Shaquille O'Neal at 11.
Okay.
And again, it's just all the data, whether that's win rates, points, rebounds, assists, those things that matter.
Hmm.
Those MVPs, all the accolades, championships, all of that went into this data, and it said LeBron James is not even in the top three. A computer said that.
Yeah.
Now, again,
That's
looking at it as a person who watches NBA, LeBron by far skill set is definitely in the top three for sure. I'll never argue. I'll never
there
argue
is
against
there. There's
that.
that. No, there is that, but that's crazy off that's just off of those though. But there's some stuff that I realized and was looking at, bro. Go look at it. You know Braun is actually
He's
top
almost top
two.
10. He's top five in
No.
almost all the categories. No.
And there's some other stuff. You know he's top two when it comes to game tying or game leading points scored ever.
Yeah, yeah. I do know that. Clutch points,
Yes.
all that good stuff.
That's saying it. As
But
much as we talk about LeBron passes in the clutch, how is he up there?
yeah,
Do we got to get a man credit when credit is due. You also got to look at it. There's only one of like I said, out of everything else, he's broke a record we thought was not gonna be broke.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, yes, he's played for 20 years, but that's also we've
But
had
Kareem played for 20
diff
years though,
exactly. So
and
like
and made
you,
one three
that's
shot and made 1 3 his entire career.
exactly, which is that's why I said that was diabolical work. There's no way you score
Yeah.
that many points and didn't score a three. Like you
Yeah.
got an old fashioned. It's
Mhm.
diabolical.
Mhm.
But still, that was a record nobody thought would ever be broke. And he
No,
did play the same amount of years as Kareem. Yes, we have a 3-point line. Yes, he's never had any major setbacks, which
for
is
sure.
a blessing.
For sure.
But like that's a record we thought was not gonna hit. And what do we say about
Well,
LeBron? Most people
it would have been broken. Let's be real. It would have been broken
who
if
but the thing is when
If MJ doesn't retire twice and plays from when the year
agree, but we're
he was
talking
drafted.
about but
I
the
know it's
you gotta
ifs
look at it
if
the
it's is. It's all
it's
ifs
an
and
if,
buts.
but we're talking about actual facts.
Yeah, yeah, for
MJ
sure,
didn't. MJ definitely would have broke it
for
if
sure.
he didn't do that. But we talking just out of this,
Yeah,
he definitely did it. There's yes, it's
but
broke.
yeah, because
It's
the
we
data's there. If MJ keeps his
exactly.
average,
MJ keeps his average.
he
MJ
plays
would have
to
broke it easily.
2,000. He
MJ
not even
plays
breaks it
18.
easy. Not even breaks it easily. If he makes it to two, if he doesn't retire twice and he goes from the year he was drafted all the way to 2000, keeping his average and playing the average amount of games he normally plays,
Yeah,
LeBron James doesn't even pass MJ for the number one spot until Game 66 of last year when they played the Timberwolves.
yeah.
So yeah, it took LeBron 20 years and MJ would have did it in 18.
That's what I said. 18. It still would have been. It would have been nice. But like I
Right.
said, it
But
is what it is.
that's an if thing. It's an if
That's the if
situation.
thing.
You can't. I
Bron got
agree.
it,
You
but
can't
that
change it.
is something that we really didn't think was going to happen because we MJ didn't do it, so we
No,
didn't think it
because
was
MJ
going to be
didn't do
close.
anything was gonna be done.
And
No,
what do a lot of people say? Bron's not a scorer like that.
no, he's a pass first guy.
He's a
I agree.
pass first guy, but somehow this man still is up there. And when it comes to scoring,
Yep,
and he's always top five in a bunch in
yep.
assists and damn near it's
I
not
think he's gonna be. I
rebounds.
think he's gonna be close to the top 10 in almost every category other than
Exactly. At the
blocks.
end of the day, when he does, he's going to be in top 10 almost in everything when it comes down to it. That's hard to do, bro. Even us the
No,
longevity, but we know
no
some
one has
people with
ever done it.
we know people with longevity in their careers, but they end up being hurt or they don't get the playing time. They get pushed to the bench. Next thing you know, they're out, but they've played longevity. We're talking there. So his there. Do you know there's only one thing that you could say that we everybody going, no, Bron's one. There's one thing. And me and you both know, and we've heard it plenty of times. MJ did something Braun will never be able to do in the
He did it.
same year.
He did it four
Did the
times.
four.
He
He
did
did
it
the
4 times.
four.
He did it
And if
four
you
times.
don't know what that four is, y'all need to go look at it. But come on, man.
No, no, we gonna let him know here in Ignorant
Come on,
Takes.
man. He
That's
did the
scoring
four.
title,
Scoring
MVP,
title,
winning
MVP.
championship, Finals MVP, four
No,
times.
defensive. It was defensive
Oh
player
yeah,
of the year. Defensive
well,
player of
defensive
the
player
year
of the year there, but
in the same year with
yeah,
MVP,
yeah.
Finals MVP, and a scoring title.
No, he didn't win. He didn't win a title in his. He won the defensive player of the year in '89.
hmm But that's what I'm saying. It's four
But as
things
far
in
as
one year.
scoring title, MVP, winning championship,
Championship.
and
I swear
Finals
it was it.
MVP, he
Yeah,
did that
but
4 times. Only
come on.
player ever to do that 4 times. Only player ever to do that 4 times. He's also the only guard.
He also
He,
didn't. You
he's
got to look at it in the
he's the
same year.
yeah he's the only in all the same year, and then he's the only player to have 200 steals and 100 blocks in the same season, and he did it
Hmm
twice. Or not, he's the only player. He's one of three. He's one of three players to do it. He's the only one to do it twice.
Yep.
I mean, when you look at it, even right now, if you look at accolades, compare the two, MJ has an entire Hall of Fame career worth of accolades still that LeBron James hasn't touched yet. When it
Yeah.
comes to scoring titles for all first, second
Nah,
teams, all that stuff.
you got to look at it that year.
Hmm.
Jordan won Defensive Player of the Year and scoring title in
Oh
87,
yeah, which is
88.
crazy work. Which is crazy. No one's ever done that either. No one
Come
won
on
a
now.
defensive title and a scoring title. So yeah, I mean, there's so much.
You
There's
there's so
so
much.
much.
That's why I said like there's so like
That's why he's
LeBron
my
is the
clear
next
cut
but
one.
that's why I said like there's stuff LeBron hasn't done and we've seen LeBron in there for 20 years,
Yeah,
20
yeah,
plus,
for sure.
and he's great. But he's
He's
two.
great.
There's stuff
Um,
that Jordan did that Bron's
and
not gonna be able to do.
this is what I think people don't understand is when you're talking about almost 80-year history of NBA merger
Hmm
to be in the conversation of even the top 10 is is a blessing. It's
Yeah.
it's it's it doesn't diminish any, no matter where you put the numbers at, it doesn't diminish those any of those guys in the top ten's career. So to be in the
Mm-hmm.
conversation for to be top 3 or top 5 is even better throughout the history of the game to be in the
Mm-hmm.
conversation. Like, and people when even now when we post this online, people are gonna be like, no, it's right. There is gonna be a big argument, and I'm
Yep.
like, you have no dog in the
There
fight.
it
You're not
goes.
LeBron James. You're not MJ.
There it goes. It was, yeah, it was MVP, scoring title, first team all defense, NBA
Yep,
championship, and a finals MVP.
yep. Five
Jordan's
things.
on, he did that
Only one
four
to do it.
times. Only person to do it. Come on, bro. You
Yeah,
end the debate. Ain't no more. We can end the debate there. There's no more discussions on is he? Don't get me wrong. Y'all never seen Jordan. If you did, they probably your parents showed the highlights, whatever, your uncles, whatever, like that. But like,
yeah.
bro, it's in debate. There's nothing you can't
And
say
people always
he's
talk
won.
about, well, MJ never played against in the finals. He never had to play against the Golden State Warriors type guys. But I'm like, he had to play against the Golden State Warriors on his way to a finals championship. Like he was in the stronger conference. If you The
Bro,
only
look,
comparables is Bron was in a weaker conference in the East, and MJ was in a stronger conference in the East. And yes, even though his finals opponents weren't as great as what Braun had to
those
face,
are still some.
there was
Those are
still
still some tough teams that
there was
he's
teams, but he
played, though.
also still
It's
had heavy
just
hitters on his way to get to the finals
exactly he just hit.
that were
He just
inferior.
beat the heavy hitters to get there. It's
Hmm.
just that those teams that he did beat though in the finals weren't no cakewalk. Because I think if you switch versus, if they're not there, them series probably if a different team is there, them
And let's be
series may
real,
go 6+7.
right? And let's be real, MJ's never lost a series as a favorite. He's never
Facts.
lost a series as a favorite,
But
but
also
Braun
look at
has.
it. Look at that Jazz game. Look at the Jazz series though. Like, come on, bro. He took that with the six, and Jordan had to close that out. But my
Yeah,
thing is
bro,
like that Jazz team was
was
very
stacked.
good.
Was stacked.
That
They
one
were
that one a you got two Hall of Famers on there.
they're the third. I think they're the third, and those both those years that he played them, they're the third and fifth most winning and most regular winning teams in NBA history.
But look at it though. Like two there's also two Hall of Famers on there and a bunch of great additional players. You had at the
Yeah,
time, John Stockton, one is a lot of people saying one of the best passers
and he
of
was
all
a
time.
steal fanatic. I think
And
he's still
he's
number one for steals.
exactly. So, and still top in assists. Like,
Hmm.
come on now. Then Karl Malone at that time was what next to what top three when it came to
And he
power
peaked and he
forwards.
peaked at number two all time scorer. So
So
I don't
like
know. It's
it wasn't no cakewalks, and then they
no, it wasn't
had
okay.
additional pieces that were good. Brian Russell. Everybody want to know that shot, but they don't know understand he was a great defender during that era. He
Hmm.
was a great defender. Like, come on now. Like they had pieces.
And MJ
So that's what
pushed
I
off.
said.
MJ pushed off.
Exa- Everybody knows a push off, but at the time that in the time that you could push off though, it wasn't no
Yeah,
call. It was free game.
I'm gonna call it fair though. I'm gonna call it fair.
Yeah,
Like
it was a put. Oh, no, no doubt about it. It's a push off, but it was free game back then. It
yeah,
was free game.
yeah,
So, but like in that debate, man, like Bronze too. Like
yeah.
I will listen to anybody had that debate,
I
but
can
like,
see it.
come on, bro.
Yeah.
He's done everything possible except that. I don't care. We can go with the everybody goes with the MJ. Yeah, MJ 6-0. Bro, we tired of hearing that. Everybody knows that.
That's not
Bron
my
knows
end
that.
all. That's not my end all be all
Yeah,
trump
that ain't
card.
my trump card.
Yeah,
That's
that's
my
not
trump
it.
card right there, bro.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
done it 4 times in the same year. He's gotten all those. Bron ain't came close to that
Never.
in
I
discussion,
think
bro.
he's only got one scoring title to his name anyway. So, yeah,
Come on, bro.
yeah.
Like,
End of discussion for me. MJ.
I'm sorry, Bron can go get 2 more rings. I'm still gonna be like,
And
eh.
you're and again, us saying that MJ is the greatest basketball player ever, it doesn't mean that he's more talented than LeBron James. If you look at the evolution of the game, LeBron James is definitely more talented.
Oh yes,
Peyton Manning was more talented of a quarterback than Tom Brady. But who do we call the GOAT?
great.
Brady.
Exactly.
So,
It's
I mean,
inevitable.
Ben
There's multiple
Roethlisberger
stars.
might be considered more talented than Tom Brady.
He was more physically gifted.
Aaron Rodgers is more talented than both Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. But do we really talk about Aaron Rodgers as being the greatest quarterback of all time? No.
Fuck no. We talk about him, getting
If
high off shrooms and shit. But
so just because you're the most talented guy doesn't equate to being the greatest of all time.
Thanks.
Winning gets you being the greatest of all time. And LeBron James has done a lot of winning, but he hasn't done the winning in the ways that MJ did it.
Agree. And that's what I said. Like I can put him at two. He's two because a lot of stuff he's done. It's just Jordan all the way. And
Right.
I
And we got into
just
that. We weren't even planning on getting into that. We just got
facts. It
into
just
it.
happened
So
to just end up, but that
just
just
have it. And we'll
just in
we'll
case.
we'll move in and we'll keep it in the NBA discussion. Um, let's quickly talk about the buyouts. I think you have a take on the pickups with Ben Simmons
Yeah,
to the Clippers, Alex Len to the Lakers, and
I
Javante
like it.
Green to the
I
Cavs.
like I like the Javante Green. That's a low key pickup. Like for the Cavs, give them another wing defender that can knock down shots for them. But it's just another big body. We already know that they're loading up to play against the Celtics. Just more wings, more defensive bodies to go help that way. My interesting one is that Clippers for Ben Simmons. As much slack as we gave Ben Simmons over the last few years, mentally, all that other stuff, it don't take away. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I don't need Ben Simmons to shoot a jumper, bro. I really don't. The man can guard. If he is actually, you don't even gotta be 100%. If they get him to play even 80% of his self, the man can guard 1 through 5.
And he gets to the
One
basket
through
too.
five. Official, but
You
that's what I'm
don't need to
saying.
shoot when you
I
get
don't
to the
need I
basket
don't
too.
need I don't but even if he can get to the basket, Ben Simmons is just a big point guard, bro.
Yeah,
I don't people realize that. He's when he was playing at his peak, where was he at? Running the point guard. He was actually facilitating the offense
a true one at that.
and lit true one. He was running the offense and playing defense. The man is a all defensive caliber player. He can
I think he
guard
was in the
one through
conversation for
five.
Defensive Player of the Year 1 year too, if I'm
Yes,
not
he would have got it. He would have got it. They chopped that. I ain't gonna lie to you. He would have got it that year. But I'm saying this, he guards 1 through 5. So on a
mistaken. Because
Clippers
he's 6'9",
team,
right, or 6'10". He's
6'10,
he's
6'10,
big.
6'11,
Yeah.
and is like 230, like 215, 230, like solid. He can guard 1 through 5. You're playing on a Clippers team that Kawhi is playing health. He's healthy for the rest of the year. James Harden's playing very great. Norman Powell's playing very great. Years at one point in time, they could put out Ben Simmons is like when I watched in that game, Ben Simmons was out there with them and he was running the one. Harden off the ball was not having to worry about using energy to do that. Now you're letting Harden go off the ball, get to save some time, run some plays for him. He was making shots. You got Norman Powell who's playing excellent this year. I think he might be a candidate for most improved player this year. He's been having a
He's been
great
going
year.
nuts. Yeah. And Ben Simmons is
Exactly.
28 still. Yeah, 6'10",
Exactly. He's still there, but it's
6'10",
like
shooting
it's
40.
six. If they even get him 80% of that in a playoff effort, at one point in time, you literally put him, Norman Powell, Harden, Kawhi out there, and then Derrick Jones Jr., who plays
And that's a
defense.
and even with that hole at 2 with Harden, like that's a great defensive team still.
Exactly. Because guess what? Kawhi's playing defense. Kawhi probably can go on your second best option. You ain't got to put him on one. Put Derrick Jones Jr. over there, or you put Ben Simmons on him. But Ben Simmons is guarding your center. So you put Derrick Jones Jr. there, Kawhi's there. Norman Powell's not a bad defender.
No.
He's not great, but he's not bad.
Yeah, he's
Him and
above, I
Harden's
would
gonna
say he's
go
above average. I would say he's above average.
above average, but him and Harden gonna go on your fourth and fifth option technically.
Yeah.
Go run a pick and roll against Derrick Jones Jr. or Kawhi, and you switching with Ben Simmons, who is an all first team defender, potentially defensive player of the year player.
Hmm. It's kind of scary.
Kind of scary.
It's
But
kind
then
of scary.
they it's scary. But then you also let free reign. He was playing at the point guard spot where he wants to play. He don't want like let him facilitate and let him get easy buckets. Like I said, he had what 12, 7, 6, and like 3 blocks.
Yeah,
Bro,
yeah, yeah.
come on, bro. Give me if you're gonna give me
On
that
5 shots at that too.
on
Five.
5 shots, bro. If
Yeah.
you're gonna give me that type of production level from him, and he's probably the fifth option, but like in between coming in for Harden, coming in for Kawhi, coming in for somebody, you're giving me a 6'10 point guard that can play defense, rebound, probably has one of the better visions comes to court vision and can make every pass either hand from wherever you need him to. What? Like,
Yeah,
don't get me wrong.
and he doesn't turn the ball over that often either. He's not
Exactly. He's
a problem.
smart with the plays. He's not a high turnover guy. So that's what I'm saying. Like as much slack as we give him for mental, like he's had some mental issues off the court that's affected him on the court. But like, come on, bro. As a player, y'all get 80% of that. That man can play 1 through 5, and he can do it very efficiently. That team is scary in a playoffs series if they can get him to play even 80% of himself. And from what I've seen, Ty Lue and them's doing something to get him playing. Because, like I said, he looked very good in that team. With that roster, that's a hell of a fucking bonus for him as a pickup. The other one was Alex Len to the Lakers. That's not who they. It's a solid big man. Like, does he?
They wanted Mark Williams for sure.
They really wanted Mark Williams because he benefits Luca's style,
Hmm.
which is a lob threat.
Yep.
Like, and he plays defense. The man plays defense. He's a decent shot blocker. Like,
Even though it got bammed
he's
down, Brian. By Brian.
yeah, Brown went and bammed on him, but like, come on, like that happens. You're a shot blocker, you're gonna get dunked on, bro. It
Yeah,
happens.
for sure.
Like if you're paid to be a shot blocker, you get dunked on. We've
Get dunked
seen the
on.
best of them get dunked on. Dwight
Yeah.
got dunked on plenty of times, and we still talk about he's one of the better shot blockers of
I
his
mean,
generation.
one of the better. I mean, the man was their championship run. He was the defense. They were a top
Send them
five
my way.
defense. He literally, and they talk about Bill Russell said, hey Bill, and that the Celtics run, but they have nothing but holes in that finals run.
Facts.
Back in
Yeah. So
what was
like,
that? 08, 09? I can't remember what year that was,
hmm
but
but like
there was
it's one
nothing
of
but holes
those.
out there, and it was just the white.
Like, yeah, I think they preferred Mark Williams because they benefited the style of the team. But like Alex Len will at least give them a little something as a big body. I think he's extended his game out to like the 3-point line, so I think he can shoot. He's what I'm saying, so it does help him floor space, but it didn't give him what they really wanted, which was a defensive shot blocker that can go catch lobs
Right.
consistently, which fits Luca's style of running the play. So. I think that's straight. But otherwise, like it's gonna be interesting going through. Um, like it's gonna be some interesting. But those buyouts definitely help. Like I said, I think that Ben Simmons one, like I said, if he gets any, they get 80% of what he used to be. That's scary.
Yeah. I can agree with that. Um it's really going to depend on what you get out of him mentally. Because when he's out there, uh, and he's a hooper, man. He can ball. Like talk about his jump shot all you want. When you're 6'10", you don't need to be able to shoot a jump shot. When you're 6'10" and you
Come
get
on,
to
bro.
any, you can get to the basket whenever you want. The thing is, you gotta if you got a free shot at the basket when you're at the rim, you need to lay it up. You don't need
Facts.
to pass it out. You lay the damn ball up. He's also starting to knock down his free throws. I know that was a big thing. He had issues with the free throws.
Yeah.
He was 4 for 4. The game you were talking about, he was 4 for 4 from the line. Um,
Come on, man.
so yeah, I
It's
think it's good. And then to like, I guess, kind of segue into it with Devontae Green going to the Cavaliers. Um, do you feel that the Cavaliers are the team to beat? I know the Celtics
nah.
had won last year, but with the way they are
Mm-mm.
showing right now, do you don't think they're the team to beat out of the East?
Nah. I still think it's the Celtics. I
Okay.
still think the Celtics team to beat. In the East, I think they still are. I just think it's one of those things where they're they're not all the way healthy.
Hmm.
And so I think that's like I said, the Cavs have been healthy throughout it. They made some pieces. These changes, them trades that they made last deadline moves were to help them play against the Celtics. I still think the Celtics are the team to beat. Cavs definitely gonna be a rough outing, like with these moves. Um, if the Bucks can get healthy and get themselves together, that potentially with that Kuzma trade, that would probably help them out, and that can definitely see how he plays in a playoff run with that team. That'll be a tough out because it's Dame and Giannis. They're still figuring it out. Um, the sleeper team is a healthy Knicks team. Because I think if they get once they get healthy and they get Mitchell Robinson back, they moves Cat back to his natural spot at the 4, which he's been playing great at the 5 for them. But I think moving him to the 4, it helps them their depth wise because it puts I think Josh Hart goes back to the bench, and then OG Anunoby comes back too. So I think it helps them out in the long run. So I think that's a scary team if they healthy. That's a scary team for them.
For me, I agree with the Cavs Celtics take. I think it's really those two's conference to lose.
Hmm.
Um, with the Celtics kind of being edged out because they are the returning champions. But to repeat, it's hard. I mean, so only so many teams have ever repeated. Uh, and they were elite throughout. But the Celtics have constantly been in the conversation as like Eastern Conference Finals.
The
So
last like 4 to 5 years.
4 to 5 years.
So
They almost the whole time under while Tatum's been there, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but um,
he's not. It's been his last like couple of the last
I have
four
no faith.
years.
I have no faith in the Knicks, and the reason I have no faith in the Knicks because Tibbs is the coach. I love Tibbs
I,
as a coach.
mhm.
He's a
I'm
great coach. I'm not trying to knock
not
him,
disagreeing to that. I'm not
but
disagreeing to
he
that at
runs
all.
his teams ragged, and they're always sputtering and hobbling their
Hmm.
way through the rest of the season once they get to the playoffs. Now, this is going to be a crazy take. The sleeper team for me, one, I love the Bucks. That's not my sleeper. I think they should be in the conversation. They have a championship winning team. They have a championship
Hmm.
winning coach in Doc Rivers, even though he's not the greatest championship winning coach in history. But and Giannis, carried that team in the year that he won. Um, and they have Dame, the second greatest shooter in my opinion in the NBA, and he's a solid scorer. But I think the Pistons are a effing sleeper. They are coming to play. There's some young boys that come play
Yeah,
defense. Cade Cunningham is finally
they're
coming to his own.
have
He
them. I have them like a year, maybe a year to two
and
away.
you
They
could be
they need
right.
one
The
more.
way
They
that
need one
they've been
more.
playing, and you could be right. I completely agree with the year away situation. Like next year, for sure, they're going to be a problem for teams.
Hmm.
But right now, the way that they're playing, they're popping teams, and in crazy ways. That even when they play the Celtics, when they play the Cavs, a lot of those games have been close.
K,
They're
bro.
playing the best.
K took that next step.
They all of them. Cade for sure took it. I mean, he's a super. I think he's a superstar in the making. Cade has definitely taken a step, even on the a little bit on the defensive end. He's learned how to like how to facilitate. Westbrook had talked about it years ago. There's a difference from passing just to pass and passing to create a shot. And I
Hmm.
feel that he's definitely learned how to create a shot and facilitate. He still gets his, but he's facilitated, and that is why this team is sixth. I mean, they're still not like top tier as far as the standings go, but they're
Hmm.
sixth. They're on a 5 game winning streak. But even in that conversation, it's kind of like
They're young.
that prime
I,
time.
I
They are young, but
that's
they've
what's gonna
played
hurt them.
great teams close, and
Hmm.
and that wins you games in the playoffs. When you know you can play teams close, you never feel like you're out of it.
True. Oh no,
And
I agree.
all it's going to take is something for these young guys to have confidence, and they could potentially upset some teams in the playoffs.
That could. But it all comes down to confidence. But it also, you know
Absolutely,
how it comes with first time teams, especially young
yeah,
teams in the playoffs. It's rough.
it's
Especially you
rough.
get one of those them veteran teams that yeah, they're old, but they're a bunch of vets. They
Oh yeah,
know
but
how
like I
to take
said,
care
they
of
play
themselves.
these guys so close, the top tier guys so close. It's going to take
Hmm.
and I think they have a great coach, a great young coach with
Yeah.
them, and if he does his job correctly, because a coach is a CEO. These guys know what to do. They've been playing basketball since they could basically walk and run.
Facts.
So they know how to play ball, and they're still learning how to win. When you go to the NBA, you're learning how to win. You're learning how to be a
Hmm.
professional, and I think they finally got there. But if the coach does his job and he can speak life into them, saying like, guys, we've played the best teams in the NBA close all year. We're down 10 points. We can win this game. This is a winnable game. Like we've beaten some of these teams also. They could surprise you, and that can breathe life and breathe confidence to these young guys. And when young guys have confidence and have life, that's scary because they run the floor too. They're back and forth, and they play D. So and even as a Midwest guy to say the Pistons, especially a guy who loves MJ, to say the Pistons seem to be kind of on the precipice of being back into the form
Hmm.
of the NBA is crazy for me. But that's my dark horse in the East. Now going to the
It's a
West.
good pick. Like I said, I think they're a little bit of like maybe a year away from needing something. I think, like I said, the Tobias Harris moving in off season was a good veteran pickup for them.
Mhm.
Like I said, Tim Hardaway's hooping. Malik Beasley was another good pickup for them. Like he's playing good this year. That's why I said I think they're like one more year away, but they're going this to
I
help
agree.
them
I
for the
can agree with that.
experience.
I can agree with
Yeah,
that.
I think this experience will help them know if they get in the playoffs as like a 6 seed. This will help them get the experience. But I
Mhm.
think they'll be like they're like one year away from being like a solid
A solid
combination.
contender, or not even
Yeah,
a contender, a solid playoff team.
playoff team in the
Because
East where
there's only
they're
so
gonna
many
be there.
contenders. There can only be so many
Yeah,
contenders. and that's
I
like
think there'll be
four
a
teams.
solid playoff team in the East going forward. And
And
then yeah,
go ahead.
it's oh no, that's yeah,
Yeah, go
that's
ahead.
how I feel about them.
Yeah,
But
let's
this
move on
West
to the
on the other
West. Yeah,
hand,
go ahead.
the Wild West, yeah, it's a dog fight. Like I said, as much as we want to claim SGA and them as the front runners, which they are, they deserve it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I still think like I do have them favored, but like I still don't know when it comes to the playoffs. Like, yes, they had a good thing, but just
Hmm.
you can't count out the veteran teams in the West when it comes to these series, man. These dog fights. Yeah,
It's
they're gonna get
100% matchups. I honestly believe that last year, if they got matched up with the Nuggets
yeah,
instead
they would have been.
of Dallas,
Oh
they
yeah.
probably would have beat them and been in the conference finals to play. I think Minnesota. Uh,
I don't know.
it's all matchups there. I think
I
Minnesota
don't
matched up
think
really
I
well
still don't
with
think
the
they matched up well with the Nuggets last year though. I think it just it's the Jokic factor, bro.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I think it just he's too much of a great talent and they don't have the size. They didn't have the size last year to do it. So I think they did a
Oh
blessing
yeah,
of
my
not
bad.
seeing
I
them.
misspoke. Yeah, I was trying to think of all the matchups. So
Yeah.
Minnesota matched up really well with the Nuggets. That's why they beat them.
Hmm. Exactly,
And
because
they
you
didn't.
had
And
the
the
bodies
Thunder didn't
for
match up well with what the Mavericks wanted to do. The
hmm
Thunder couldn't counter it.
yes,
And
exactly.
and
And that's why
it's all matchups in the West. It's really
I
gonna
think
come down to matchups.
this year they went and got some bodies to help out with that, but I don't know. Like it's still gonna be interesting. I
To me, it
don't
comes down
think
to
they're gonna.
Chet. It comes to the boy. It comes to how healthy is Chet because I think SGA is gonna do his thing. Um,
Yeah, moving Chet to the four was
Jalen,
great. Was a great
yeah,
move, which I've
yeah.
been saying, which
And as
he
long as
needs
he's
to do.
healthy, and of course I want to be healthy. He's a Minnesota kid. I want to see
That's a little
Minnesota get
bro.
away, and as a little bro, you know what I'm saying. I want him to be successful, and especially like I'm rooting for him 100%, especially as an American, pride in America. I don't never want to talk about Wimby being the face of the NBA in an American sport. So when you have another guy who's up there, who's 7 feet plus tall, seven, was he said listed at 7'5", I
Yeah,
think, and he can still do all the things Wimby can do.
Chet
He
was
can dribble,
seven
yeah,
one,
he can dribble,
seven
he can
two.
shoot, he plays defense, he moves his feet, he
Just
can
gotta stay
guard.
healthy.
You gotta stay
Just gotta
healthy.
stay healthy.
So I'm rocking with the American over. I don't give no f that.
I
I'm
feel you.
rocking with the American all day. I'm born and bred in America, bro. It's
Yeah,
America.
I
It's
feel you.
America. You know
I
what I'm
think
saying?
it's gonna be interesting. Like I said, I think the other front runners is just gonna be after that. It's really just dog fights and matchups.
Hmm.
Even them as a front runner is still a matchup thing because if they, like I said, I think if they get somebody like the Nuggets, who, yeah, they're still figuring out, but you still have Joker, Murray, like Russ is playing and
Russ
hooping. I think
is hooping.
they found
Found their
a
X factor.
combination. Yeah, they
Yeah.
found a combination with putting Russ in that starting lineup and moving Murray to the two. Now
Two.
you're not worried about, oh, I gotta score and play make. Joker was always that, but when Murray had it, it was like, he still thought about I gotta play make. No,
Yeah.
now you let him say, I go score.
I go score. I'm gonna go
Russ
get
is
a
gonna
bucket.
play. Russ will play make for us with Joker.
Yep.
So that's a
And he
different
gets you
that.
hype. There's so much I love about
Then you still
Russ.
like yeah, and you still got
Hmm.
Michael Porter Jr. is a great wing man that literally knocks down damn near everything.
Hmm.
Gordon has showed Aaron Gordon somehow has showed that he can knock down a three consistently now this year, which is kind of dangerous because he plays defense and he's always a lob threat. So
Hmm.
like now that he can knock down a three, you
I think.
still like I'm still gonna say he with us, but like if he makes one or two, you gotta respect it.
I mean, yeah, he gets two of them off because he's still gonna get the dink and dunk stuff. He's gonna get the putbacks. He plays great defense on the other side of other side of the court. Um, yeah, man,
Hmm.
I like the
It's a
West is
matchup
the
thing,
West is wild. Like we always talk
you
about
know.
how the West is crazy, but and not even like a top like the top six teams truly are contenders. Have been for a long time in the West, but this year it's like Minnesota has kind of fallen off a little bit. I think they needed some time to get Randall. I think they did lose that trade with Cat. Um,
Expeditiously.
uh, and I talked about it previously. Like they should have looked to move him. I just feel he doesn't fit the style, and they're finally kind of understanding it because they did fall off defensively, but they only came into defensive flourishing because they had so much time with each other. As far as
Hmm.
Cat wasn't a great defender, sorry, Cat even coming into college was a great defender. He wasn't a great scorer, but he still wasn't a great NBA defender until the last few years. And
Hmm.
and
He stepped it up.
understanding
He
he stepped it
definitely
up for
is.
sure. And Ant Man wasn't a great defender all the way through college. He finally became a great defender in the NBA and understanding it. That's a guy that that he's a dog. But he's learning how to lead because Cat
Hmm.
was the even though when you look at it, Ant
It
Man
was
is the
it was
true
Ant's
alpha.
team. It was Ant's team. We just
But
Cat just
Cat
was there.
led. Cat was there, but I feel like Cat was he was the vet. He kind of led in a sense, and
He
now
tried.
I'll take that. And Ant now really has to lead by himself. Like he doesn't have a guy to lean on in Cat anymore because I don't think he's leaning on Randall. I think Randall's the leader. Um, he was definitely not leaning on Rudy, and we got my
Oh, he leaning on Rudy. It just ain't
yeah,
what we asking. He leaning on Rudy.
and to be a leader though.
Sorry,
And I know
that's
we
him.
got Mike. I know we got Mike Conley Jr., who is a winner in pretty much his entire life. He's won everywhere. 4-time state champion in high school. Made it to a March Madness finals for a national
Mhm.
title game. But he was one and done, so we never got to see if they could actually win again.
Him and
Um,
Greg. Yep.
him and Greg, but it's like in a true leader. Mike Conley is a voice of reason, calm
Oh, he's a
voice,
great leader.
great
He's
leader.
it's there.
But it's not his team. He's kind of the shadow leader on like teaching Ant
He's the
how to be
OG
a
coach.
professional. Yeah, for sure.
He's the old
And
head that's a coach.
Ant is trying to create a culture now. Like Ant is in that position where he's creating his
Is
own
there?
culture in
I think
Minnesota. And I
they
think
need
they've kind of
something
started to figure
else.
it out. They definitely need a couple more pieces. But
They
looking
need to
at
start
their last
playing.
games,
They need to start playing the young boy Rob more. Told the boys
oh,
that boys. I've been told the boy that
boy's
he was
a
gonna be the
bucket. That boy's a bucket. He's a
been
bucket.
saying that you got to get Ant some pressure to get the ball out. It's like you got to get us pressure. Nas Reed is hooping. We all seen that last year, and he's continuing this year.
Yep.
But the guard spot is where you need it. Rob can get the buckets until Vincenzo gets healthy and figures it out too.
Hmm.
Rob is another option right now to go in there. He comes in instant offense.
Yeah, and that's
So
what I felt even early. I felt that the only thing that kind of pushed Minnesota over the edge on that trade with Cat and Randall was DiVincenzo.
oh
Was
yeah, of
Danny
course.
DiVincenzo.
And then
But dude, he
blame
hasn't
blame
performed.
blame the Knicks. Blame the Knicks for that
Yeah,
because yeah,
yeah. But to kind of keep the conversation on the right path, um, the like you said, the West is wild. I think we talked about it, your Warriors have a
hey
big
man,
push.
three
Um,
and one since Jimmy. Three
and
and one since Jimmy.
and it's
I
like a
think
strong 3-1. Yeah, they had their kind of they were down
that
one point.
Dallas game we sold the bag and still had a chance to win, bro. That game went to Kyrie made a hell of a defensive play by getting that charge at the end of the game. Otherwise, Jimmy was about to score to win it. But
Yep.
like
And they're
we
blowing
played
out
terrible.
Sacramento right now. I mean,
Oh yeah, I
yeah,
seen it.
they're
We was
blowing
up
them.
at the
Yeah,
half. So like
120
if it
right now it's 123 to 100. They
yeah,
blowing
if
them out.
it ends with there's 4-1 since Jimmy's played, which could be potentially 5-0. But like that Dallas game, we had too many turnovers, too many, and still was in that game with a depleted Dallas team that didn't have bigs. But
Hmm.
it was just the fact that it literally was can go anywhere. Kyrie had a hell of a game, but and made the game winning play. But it just was like it. I've seen where we could be good, and we're gonna be a mismatch as a team
Yeah. I mean, I think you
in the
guys are going to wind up
playoffs.
being a high seed. You guys, there's plenty of games left.
I've, but look, I called it. I
I see
called
you
it in
getting
that
out of the
episode when
10th
we made
spot.
that trade
Yeah.
for Jimmy. I said we are gonna be. Don't let us sneak in. Don't let us sneak in as a 6 seed or higher. Do
Yeah.
not, because then you let Draymond get the rest. You let Steph get the rest. You let Jimmy who get the rest, and then you're talking about playoff Jimmy.
Yep.
The only thing Jimmy ain't
That's a
done
scary
is
team.
get a ring. He's gotten to two finals
Hmm.
with teams that aren't even close to this type of caliber. And we've seen the matchups. Jimmy has been getting one on one.
Hmm. It's scary. Seeing
Jimmy
Jimmy
one
get
on
one on
one
one,
is a
it's
bucket.
and not
He's
one on one from the three. He's getting one on one inside the three
at
point
the
line
rim.
at
He's
the
getting
rim.
it on the block where
Unblocked.
Jimmy does his work,
It's
what is
scary.
at the block.
It's
And
scary.
Jimmy's doing something, he's also doing something that we have not done in years and ain't been able to do consistently, which is what? get to the foul line.
Yep.
Jimmy has been getting about 8 to 10 free throws a
You got a
game.
baller. I mentioned it. I think for the immediate, you guys are going to look really good.
So
Your
it's for
championship
the
aspirations are there. I think you guys are going to make a really good push.
still don't like Draymond's take saying, "Yeah, we're gonna win a championship this year." All right, now calm down, Dre. Calm
Bro,
down.
it's a tough league, but
I don't
it
know what
is
you
scary.
smoking,
I'll
but
say that it is scary.
we could put a
It gets
fight for
tougher
one.
out
I'm
there.
not guaranteeing it. Yeah, I'm not guaranteeing that, but we could put a fight for one. So it's
But if you
like I
guys find a
said,
way to be a 3 seed, which I think is possible, to
a
even
run,
make it
a
to the three,
run. It's
it's
all about a run, bro.
you guys
This
get
you
home
like you
court.
said, those games are so close. It's all about a run.
Yep.
Make a run. I really don't care. I just don't want to be in the play-in. To be honest with you, I don't want to be in the play-in. The last few years we've been in the play-in. Besides the championship run, we've been in the play-in the last 3 years. We've had got out of it, and but it's also lost in it. And it's just like I don't want to be in the play-in.
Yep.
Let us not be in the play-in and get a rest. I
Hmm.
think it'd be even worse for people because, like I said, we got the talent, and then Jimmy being, I think you're gonna see a different type of Jimmy in the playoffs because now it's a Jimmy that doesn't have to be the number one option. We haven't seen that. We've seen him in the playoffs having to guard the best player
Well, we have seen it
and go
when
get
he was
30.
younger, though. We haven't seen it as when he got in his prime.
But yeah,
Because D
younger.
Rose,
But the thing is, even then, that was like D got hope, and that was you still were trying to. Jimmy was still new in the league. He's trying to
yes,
figure it
that's
out.
what I'm
So
saying. Yeah, yeah.
he
But
didn't
never
understand.
as a man we've seen him good.
Yes, we ain't seen we weren't calling him playoff Jimmy. He was just Jimmy the rookie. Since
Yeah.
he's been known as playoff Jimmy, Jimmy is the number one option,
Yep.
number one defender.
Hmm.
This time around, you got playoff Jimmy that as
And he's had to
number two
carry
option.
teams. You could tell that he was definitely winded going into those finals.
Tired because he's had to try to go get you 30 to 40 and guard your best player, do everything. He dives on the court, he gives it his all.
Yep.
Now he gets to give it his all as the number two option,
Yep.
and a lot of his looks are one on one. Come
Hmm.
on, bro. You got to see a whole different Jimmy.
And with
That's why I
that,
said, do not let us get that.
yeah, and yeah, I agree. But with that, I need your four uh championship contenders. And it doesn't have to be East West. Like, if you have
Cavs,
East people,
Cavs, Celtics, I'm not Warriors, but Cavs, Celtics, Thunder, and then I be honest with you, after that it's really up in the air. I think those three right there are the standouts. After that, it's more just matchups. I think it's matchup based. Like who gets hot and who gets the right matchups. I think after
so
that.
so I agree with your first two Cavs and Celtics. Actually, your first three. I think the Thunder is definitely a contender team. They've proven that these last 2 years, being the number one seeds. Uh, they're in the conversation right now to compete for the overall number one. I'm actually going to go ahead and call a fourth. Um, the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets have figured out a solution.
Hmm.
Um, the Joker doesn't get hurt when your star player doesn't really get hurt like that. It's tough to it's tough to say that you're not going, and they've won a ring.
Yeah.
So I'll call the Nuggets now. I will call the Nuggets based on how Minnesota looks right now,
Hmm.
and the Warriors. I can see the Warriors, the Warriors and the Timberwolves are my dark horse in the West. If the Timberwolves figure out what to do on defense, because the offense I don't think has been a problem for them all year. It's really been defense that has definitely faltered since last year.
I
But
can tell you what they got to do.
I think they match up well with the Nuggets, though. Just as much as they did last year, I think they
They
match up
do.
well with the Nuggets, and they could pop the Nuggets if they have to play the Nuggets.
I,
Um,
I, I don't disagree with that.
but those are
I
my
can
two
tell you what
dark,
they got to do
and I have to
defensively,
say
though.
too, and I'll hear it. But those are my two dark horses because I think I already said it. I think your Warriors are going to make a tough run, and they're going to wind up. I think the Grizzlies are going to fall because they're number two seed right now. It's actually the same record. I think they have the head to head with the
Yeah, we
Denver.
got
That's
the
why they're
head-to-head
number
win.
two. So I think the Grizzlies are going to falter. I think the Nuggets
Hmm.
will probably become the two seed with the Thunder being the one. And
Yeah,
then I do strongly believe the way that they've looked so far, the Warriors will make a run for a 3 seed. They have the opportunity to do so.
yeah,
I think the
it's so
Rockets,
close.
even though I think they just beat Minnesota tonight, I think the Rockets will falter eventually. I think the Lakers are going to falter. It's all depends on how Luca's health is. and I think the Timberwolves will make their way up. But that's just kind of my take on that. I think those are my two dark horses out of the West.
Hmm.
But go ahead. What do you have? What do you think they need to
I
do?
think what you need to stop doing is leaving Rudy Gobert in the pick and roll and having him guard a damn guard. That's what you need to
I
stop
almost put my
doing.
damn drink out.
That's what you need to stop damn doing. That's what they need.
He's the
That's
only defensive player that you want to take out in the
Man,
front
that
court.
nigga is he is the greatest help side defender. Get the fuck out of here, bro. I don't want to hear that shit. That man is the greatest help side defender. That man ain't no damn defender. Because he is such a goddamn great defender, we wouldn't be talking about how bad he is and everything else.
Yeah,
Man, get this
yeah,
out of
for
here.
sure.
Stop leaving him in pick and rolls against guards.
Yeah,
Because every time he
sorry.
gets put
He
in
get
a decent
put to the
guard,
blender.
come on, boy.
He don't got a dollar. He don't got a dollar.
Man, any of dollar. That boy got any of ankles, any of mine. That boy gets lost.
That
Dora,
is,
man, get that nigga a map. Stop
that's
leaving him in pick and rolls with guards.
that's for
If
sure.
if they do that, he get it. His average is about 2 out of every 10. He wins in that matchup. Come
Definitely
on,
for
that's not gonna
sure.
happen.
For sure. And with that, we're gonna call it here at Ignorant Takes. Next Friday, we're planning on talking about March Madness because that's starting to come up.
In the combine, we got
The
combine starting next
combine
week too.
start next week. NFL combine, baseball is kind of. I think spring training is going on or getting
Hmm.
ready to start. Talk about a little bit, probably a little baseball, but we're going to lean definitely towards the NCAA tournament. Talk about our picks, who we feel is gonna, whatever our bracket is. We all, both of us, always do a bracket. This
Spoiler.
is what
Spoiler. Hannah Hidalgo, National Player of the Year. I called it.
Hannah
Don't
Hidalgo.
argue with me. Hannah Hidalgo, National Player of the Year. Juju, you've been hooping. You definitely is, but
Hey,
I'm
Hannah been
sorry.
killing.
Hannah Hidalgo, National Player of the Year. Argue with your mama, not me.
Argue with your mama, not me. And with that, we're out of here. Thank you for in coming and spending time with us. Hopefully, you had some insight. Hopefully, you took away something, whether that was positive or negative. We're here for you, and we hope to see you next week. Cause as always, I'll be talking to you. I'll see you tomorrow, and
For sure.
we out.
Peace.